Welcome, Streams in the Desert readers! Today we are going to be reading Annie Oakley. This is Avial reading, by the way. Today we're going to be reading Annie Oakley. Annie Oakley was born in a small Ohio town. As soon as she could lift her daddy's hunting rifle, he was teaching her how to shoot. When her daddy died, her mama was left in an awful way. She had a hard time feeding Annie and the other children. Annie saw how hard her mama was working and decided to help. She picked up her daddy's rifle and went hunting. That first day, she brought home more fat pheasants, than she could carry. Her family never went hungry again. Little Annie became the best hunter in the country right quick. She started selling extra food to the people around town and giving food to those who couldn't afford it. This went on for years until a man named Frank Butler came to the town. He was a sharpshooter, and he put on quite a show for shooting targets. At the end of his show, he asked the crowd if they knew anyone who has a better shot. The townspeople said they knew one person and sent someone off to fetch Annie. When Frank saw short Annie, who was skinny enough to hide behind a cornstalk, he laughed. "Is this the best you got, Frank?" asked. The townspeople said yes. Annie just smiled. "All right then, since a lady is challenging me, I'll let her pick the contest." "Shooting cards," Annie said proudly. "Are you sure?" Frank replied. "I'm the best card shooter in the West." Annie nodded and said, "We'll be shooting cards edgewise." Frank went first. A boy set up 5 playing cards in little notches on a fence, so the edges faced Frank. From where Frank stood, they were all but visible. He took a deep breath and fired. He hit 3 cards, one through the middle and the tops of 2 others. Annie stepped up on a smile on her face. She asked the boy to set up cards on 2 fences opposite each other. Annie's hands moved like lightning and the gunshots were thunder. She shot the cards in front of her clean in half with barely a thought. She pulled out a mirror and shoot the cards behind her over her shoulder. Annie had won, and Frank asked her to come on the road with him. Annie started making a name for herself, the best shot in the West. People would toss her pennies and dimes in the air at her shows. She was fast enough to shoot everyone before it hit the ground. Any coin shot by Annie Oakley would be immediately quintuple in value. Once a man became very rich by throwing a bundle of silver dollars in the air, and he shot each one before it hit the ground. Buffalo Bill's Wide West show was the biggest show in the world. Buffalo Bill heard the lady sharpshooter, and to see her talent for herself, he took the famous Lakota chief Sitting Bull with one of him off Annie's shows. "That was good, but not good enough for my show," Buffalo Bill told Annie afterward. "Show me something amazing." Sitting Bull pointed onto a speck high in the sky, and he took the aim and shot. The speck flew down, and Buffalo Bill shook his head and started to walk away. "Wait," said Sitting Bill after a few moments passed. A single tail feather from a large eagle drifted down. There was a bullet hole in the middle. Sitting Bull was so impressed that he named her Little Sure Shot. Buffalo nodded and said, "What else have you got?" And he climbed near a nearby hill, kneeled and aimed and fired. She kept firing again and again, always in the same direction. She came down the hill smiling. "What are you shooting at?" Buffalo Bill said. "You will see," Annie said. Buffalo Bill and Sitting Bull had their journey goodbyes and started the long journey to the Wild West show towns. They rode for almost a week before they saw the camp next to Bill Boulder. As they came closer, Buffalo Bill saw the message on the boulder. It was an address carved by Annie's bullets. 137 Main Street, Oakley, Ohio. Annie. Buffalo Bill sent a telegram to the address inviting Annie Oakland to join the Wild West show. She did and went on to do the even greater feasts all over the world. They say she even made some new stars by shooting holes in the sky. But that's another tale.
Good job.
Thank you for reading with me and us. Well, if you want to hear more or share the friends to your stories, you know what to do. Share. Thank you so much for reading with me. Have a good day or good night. Bye.